All right, Ian, which Q&A do you want to do there out of the two?
I have to go. It's 10:32.
I thought you had till 10:40.
Well, all right. Quickly then, what Q&A are we going to do?
You want to do the Goose Game one?
Yeah, we'll do the Goose Game.
All right, this is from that Unnecessary Fan. Untitled Goose Game is still the #1 spot in Nintendo Switch eShop as of this tweet. What makes it indie games like it so popular and successful?
I think so. There's a number of reasons why the Goose Game is doing well. It's fantastic. It's not my favorite game that's come out recently, but that's not a negative to it. But if you play indie games, you've played things that probably remind you of it. One that reminds me of it in a way that came out recently was Donut County. Games like this tend to
Donut County.
Games like this tend to, I think, especially like the Goose Game, their popularity rests on three things that they've done very well: a sense of humor, like a great sense of humor, a welcoming art style, and the ability to kind of create mischief and be a jerk, but not a huge jerk. And
not a huge enough jerk, but a jerk.
But that's also, I think, why Donut County succeeded in a way too.
I'm looking up Donut County
so
right now.
In Donut County, you play as, well, kind of a donut, but it's a story about a raccoon and a girl. And the raccoon's an asshole.
I've heard this game. Okay.
I've played through it on stream twice. I freaking love it. And you play as it's the story about this raccoon and this girl, and it's the story about how the raccoon sends out these donuts and causes havoc throughout the town. And it's got a very nice sense of a laid back sense of humor, a pleasing art style. And I'm not saying that Goose Game copied it. I'm saying that these are just things that exist that really bring people together. So the Goose Game is the same thing. It's nice, it's approachable, and it's...
I like how you said approachable. I think that's very important.
It's very approachable, and while it's not an easy game, figuring out some of the puzzles will take you some time, it's fun enough in that I'm creating havoc and being a jerk sort of way. While you're trying to figure out what you're doing, even if you're not checking the items off the list, you're still being a goose that's turning on a faucet and then running away and
stealing glasses
and then stealing the keys from the janitor, and it's very fun, and it's genuinely funny. It's a genuinely funny game. It's a great idea to play an annoying goose. You tell someone that there's a game where you can be an annoying goose, they're gonna want to mess with it for even 5 minutes.
I think people are clamoring for more variety than we give them credit for, and that goes with movies too. People are, that's why Scorsese was complaining about all the Marvel films, and their point is not lost on me, even though they might go over the top, is that if you give people more variety, you'd be surprised at how often they'll jump towards it and try it out. And for something like this Donut County or Untitled Goose Game, people are just overwhelmed by the fact that, oh my God, this is different than anything else I've seen. Right. This isn't just like Frank would say, a game where you walk around the corner and shoot someone in the face. There's millions of those games. They're not inviting, like you said. They're not original. This is something you haven't seen before. It's something inventive. It's something cute. And it's something that you won't forget. You'll forget playing about that first-person shooter in 2 months, or even whatever average indie platformer. You'll forget about this. You won't forget about this anytime soon.
In games like those two specifically, I love them because not every game has to be an emotional roller coaster. Not every game has to be violent. Not every game has to tell the story of the end of the world. But at the same point, on the other end, not every game has to be a Borderlands where it's all fucking yucks and slapstick and dumb jokes. Like, you can make something that's genuinely charming and humorous without it beating you over the head.
And the fact that these aren't huge companies making these games, producing these games. There's also a little bit of an underdog to it. Okay, let's help out this little smaller company making this game, and see where it goes, and maybe they do more games. That's part of it too. But I honestly think that there's an audience that want to play more different variety of games, and they just want, and obviously they're out there, but they're impossible to find on Steam. And something as well polished as these games, that as recognized by Sony and by Nintendo, and they're pushed. You see them like in Nintendo Direct, like with the Untitled Goose Game. People are like, "Oh my God, what is this game? I would never expect a game like this to exist." Right. They're out there, but they gotta be pushed more. And hopefully we see more and more of this, because you only hear about these games like maybe once or twice, even in a full year. Any games like this that get this popular, it's not often that this happens.
Yeah, no, it's not at all.
So that's it. I got to play the Untitled Goose Game. Should I get it on Switch or should I get it on Steam? What do you think?
I would get it on Switch. It's a nice fit for, I think it's a nice fit for on the go, because you can pick it up, knock a couple things off your checklist by being a dumb goose, and then go back to your day.
I should get Killer Queen Black, according to Ian. So
yes,
get that.
You should. And
Ian was clamoring for it.
I was supposed to play that this weekend with Grace, Derek, and Ant, and we never got made time. So maybe I'll stream that later this week.
Oh, advertise it for Ian. Okay.